Is 26 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Chaves County Economic Development Corporation, EDC, we have Mike Espiritu back with us. Morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Mike.
How
Good
you
to see
doing today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
It's been a while since we had a chance to sit down and talk to you
It's been
on
a
the
minute,
radio.
you know. We've had this thing called COVID come around and kind of shake the trees, right? So,
Well, and here's the deal. For you would think that would make things a little quieter, and really it's the complete opposite because, for folks that don't know, and the whole role of the Roswell Chaves County EDC is to promote and to help garner and generate business in our community, to really to showcase our community to the world, and then offer an opportunity for the world to come be a part of our little world here, and that's really at the end of the day what the EDC is about. I mean, that's just a blanket loose thing here, but so where everyone's shutting down businesses and trying to go introvert here, you're like, well, but wait, I got to come on down anyway, So it actually probably created a ton more work on your end as far as the EDC goes.
well, the EDC, Mike, yes, business attraction and recruitment, try to bring new business, create jobs, good wage jobs. And as you know, we about to send aviation coming here. 360 jobs. They're recruiting. They're recruiting right now.
That airport
to hire folks, and that's going to change Roswell.
Well, that airport, and I know our government entities, county, city, all see this. That airport is our linchpin to success. That there is so much we can do with this thing, and if we do it right, we can. That can be the thing that makes all of Southeast New Mexico, not just Roswell and Chaves County, but Eddy County, Lee County, the entire Southeast New Mexico can benefit from that airport.
Well, that air center, there's not another one like it here in New Mexico.
Yeah.
With a 13,001 foot runway, it's and nearly 5,000 acres.
Yeah.
It's really a jewel.
Yeah, it is.
And we're thankful that.
Yeah, because there's no communities that really enjoy something like that for the most part in the country.
There's not, and we're thankful that the governor and our local legislators here in Chaves County really support the air center. And I say the governor because of the money she sent down, right? Because that helps us drive projects like Ascent. It's going to help drive a water project, and that's probably not well known, but we're doing a water project out there that's going to really help support more growth.
Well, that's just it, and I don't mean to cut you off there, but the least sexy stuff is the most important stuff for this to happen. It's businesses and things are going to look at it because you know what? They can get water, they can get everything that they need is right there on site. And that's the difference between that company A coming to Roswell, New Mexico versus Nevada or wherever the place that kind of looks deserty like us.
Sure, it's about speed of market, and now with COVID, they're not looking to hang out and build something that's going to take them 12 to 18 months. They want to get into something.
Set up shop and go.
And, so we've worked on certified sites out at the Air Center, a 44-acre parcel. We've now got a new building. The city council passed the purchase of a RUB building, which is similar to the RUB building that's going to be built out there for Ascent Aviation.
Yeah.
So that's great because, what we don't have at the Air Center is inventory. Mm-hmm. We are full. We have just like 2,000 square foot that's unused. Sure. But, Joe Nebb, city manager, and I, we're in lockstep on this. We both agree that it's a 70-30 split. I kind of like to say 60-40, but meaning if 70% of our inventory is occupied, then we have no growth. We have nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. So we need to get more facilities, more opportunity. Back to that speed of market. Back to the companies want to come here because there's something here. You would think that we can get somebody in that old bus plant, and I can't tell you how many people we talk to about that building. I mean, I know every week we're talking to somebody about trying to sell, market that building.
Well, and I would imagine too, because the rate at which technology advances, for a company that, let's face it, if you're in the airline industry, there's some high tech going on there. You're gonna need, the advances in technology we've made since that bus building was put in and everything else versus today. I think that's where, because whoever has it, you're going to have to invest money in upgrading all kinds of the wiring, the internet, whatever whatever things that weren't thought of yet when that building was built, and that's what we're talking about, that rate of things. And that's why, so when we have the governor and various other entities, giving us grants or sending money our way to update these things, that's what it's all for, is so in essence, we can get this stuff ready to go. Yeah, we know that building's old, but if we can at some point do some own renovations, it's going to make it a viable something for another business rather than, them investing a bunch of money. They're going to say, you know what, we don't have to do this, this, and this. That one's set up to go. We'll take it now over that one down there.
Yeah,
and that's some of the stuff we're dealing with.
I certainly agree, and I really can't stress enough how fortunate we are to have really strong state lawmakers representing us at Santa Fe. They get it. They know Roswell, Chaves County. They know what we need, and they're very supportive. And that's important. And I'm not going to throw out names. The whole point is they all believe that.
Sure.
Every single one of them. So, but back to your point about being busy. Oh my gosh. So when COVID hit and the airlines were shuttering service, and we saw all those aircraft, which we still have a number parked out there at the air center. I'm sure you've heard about it from our mayor.
Again, that was another blessing in disguise. We turned into a valuable asset for the airline industry during COVID because we got a lot of land to store things.
That's right, and that's why the ramp up by Eastern New Mexico University here in Roswell, great campus under Dr. Powell's leadership and his great, amazing team. The work towards improving the opportunities for the aircraft maintenance technician program. We need those folks.
Sure.
And and every one of them get hired. I mean, they all have jobs before they even leave. So they've doubled enrollment. I mean, they're doubling the enrollment. They're doubling their instructor staff. And you probably aren't aware of, maybe you are, but the average aircraft maintenance person is about 58 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a young person anymore.
And I would gather many of them got their education in the military, and that's why they were all, either retired or served in the military, and now in working in their civilian roles. Well, thanks to that partnership you're talking about with Dr. Powell here and Eastern New Mexico University Roswell, we can change that, where these guys aren't guys that spent 20 years in the Air Force or the Navy or something. They got their aircraft training right here at ENMU, and they're going right out there to the job area, and they're so we'll see a change there, and I think ENMU is going to be the reason why we see a shift in that over time.
I certainly agree, and I'm going to just throw out a couple numbers to you. There's throughout the world, over the next 20 years, there's going to be a shortage of maintenance technicians of 607,000. And just in North America, we're going to be short 123,000.
Wow.
Yeah. And so, we need folks in that program. It's a 2-year program. And if they don't want to get certified as an A&P mechanic, airframe and power plant, they don't have to. But at least start getting the education, and they can move right into any of these companies that we have here.
Although my advice to you would be go for the A&P.
Absolutely.
Go get that A&P, because you can write your own ticket when you got that A&P. That is basically telling people that you are licensed, certified, and you can walk into their business tomorrow and start working on aircraft, and they don't miss a beat.
That's right.
So it really would behoove you to pursue that. I get it. It might take you time, but make that your end game if you want to go in the maintenance industry.
Yes, and there's scholarships, and there's also great opportunity. And, the starting wage on these folks that graduate is like $35 an hour.
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah.
So, it depends on what a person wants to do. And, I think from what you and I have seen, and a lot of us have seen that's listening to the radio, is the number of people that are out of work and because of COVID. And as you probably are aware, one of the things that we really worked very diligently on in the very beginning of this pandemic was we took a look at what can we do. And we did a couple of things. One, we became a clearinghouse for COVID information. And because, there was a lot of stuff out there.
Yeah.
This grant, that loan, that loan.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just crazy.
It was the Wild West of finding this stuff.
It was.
Yeah.
And so we try to coalesce all the information so we can make it easier for people to understand. But then the biggest thing we did was we have because we have a plan and a process, or what do you want to call it? But we purposely visit a lot of people, business people in the community, because they've already invested, they've already created jobs, life savings. We are out visiting all our small business people in Chaves County, and that's really important.
Absolutely.
important.
And I want to, throw that out there to our small business owners here. And I think probably most of you know Mike already, but if you don't, get to, because obviously the Chamber of Commerce, as well as they are an amazing tool for our businesses here in our community. But bring as many to that party as possible, because the EDC partners with the chamber all the time, with the city, with the county. It's another resource for you as a small business owner to take advantage of. And as Mike was saying, there was so many different opportunities during COVID for businesses and things that it was hard to keep up to date and track them. A constant relationship with Mike and the EDC with your small business I think kind of like an insurance plan for your business, because
Sure.
I think it really is. Because I guarantee it's going to get crazier as the time goes down, and as laws and things change, you're going to have to find ways to adapt and overcome, and resources like the EDC are your best friend on the planet for that.
Well, we're not done yet with this COVID stuff, right? And, you've seen the numbers, I've seen the numbers, and it's concerning. And it really concerns me with our small business owners. And my whole desire is to keep them in business. And we have a couple of programs that I'm pretty excited about. We've had for a number of years a facade grant program. It's a true grant. It's not a lot of money, but you could apply online. It's pretty simple.
Sure.
And these are for our small business owners. And it used to be just Main Street. We've opened up the entire Chaves County. Any small business in Chaves County, they want to improve the exterior facade of their building.
Cool.
And we give money for that.
That's great.
And it's not real hard to get. The other is called a ROAR fund. And I can never remember what the initials stand for.
As long as you know what it does, that's all that matters.
But City Manager Joe Nebb and I, we got together and we talked about how can we further help our small business community with some funding. Because one of the biggest issues we see here in our smaller, older buildings is lack of fire suppression, ADA, compliance, things. So we've created this a low interest loan fund that we're getting ready to roll out here within the next several weeks.
Okay.
So for our local small people to access and utilize and again get some money at a very low interest rate.
That's great.
Yeah. So
and really not tapping into their day-to-day operating expenses and stuff, which are probably very well, earmarked for whatever the business needs to operate, and that's why these things don't get updated and done. So. Yeah. Here's some grant money that say, hey, you've been wanting to update your fire suppression system, or you know what, your code, your electricals hasn't probably been in code in 20 years. Let's get it up to code.
Well, and the accessibility piece too. We want folks that are disadvantaged and handicapped and have those challenges.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because we have a lot of folks like that in our community. Sadly, not sadly we have them in the community, but sadly they're having to live through those. But if we can help them, we will. And we're going to roll that soon. By the way, that's with the city of Roswell. They're funding that. They're seeding that. Not a lot of money up front initially, but we hope to get some more funds through.
Get your foot in the door.
Get our foot in the door. And,
Exactly.
more importantly, help our local small business owners. And that's the whole intent.
Absolutely. And that's what and to be honest, and you get this, Mike, it's you turn over every stone. That's when, especially in times like this, any opportunity, big, little, somewhere in between, that's what the EDC looks for and tries to do it and find it out for our community and help do that. So, I mean, we think of the lure side and say, hey, I'm trying to lure big business X to come and look at our area, but it's much more than that. That's phase one. The other side, which is probably the busier side right now, is how do we maintain who we have? How do we grow who we have? What we got here, how do we make it better? And that's what it's all about right now. And I know times are tough. Business models have been turned upside down the last 2 years, but there is a lot of diamonds in the rough during times like this. And that's where you're talking your conversations with Mike at the EDC and let's face it, the chamber and the city and the county, anybody that's handling economic and business development in our community, you need to bend their ear and talk to, because the more resources, the more information, the more options you have, the better you're going to be.
Well, and you're right. During these times, we're seeing a lot of folks say, you know what, I don't really want to go back to the workplace, but I've got a great idea, something I've always wanted to do. I'm going to create a business doing this. Mm-hmm. And they don't know how to go about it. Give us a call. Yeah. We have access to resources that they may not be aware of. Mm-hmm. We have access to state incentives that may qualify. So we have some programs out there that may really help them. And, of course, we'll walk them through the steps.
Sure.
Now, I just call the office, make an appointment, come see us. 622-1975, and we're happy to do that. I have a great team of two fine ladies, Irma Perez and Melissa Juarez, and they get it. They're very involved.
They're
and
digging in the files and looking up the information and trying to find all that
yeah,
stuff.
what's so important is if we can help those folks be successful, so they make good decisions or sound-based, decisions, then we want nothing for us. We just want them to be successful.
Sure.
And if they can grow jobs as a result, even better.
It makes the community better.
Well, that's what makes our city strong.
Sure. And our mom and pops, let's face it, when we talk about our nonprofits and our things like that, that's what makes our community grow. Because now that these smaller businesses, once they're finding success and then they start helping out their passions. And it could be the Humane Society, it could be CASA, it could be the Roswell Refuge, it could be any of these types of things. So by default, by helping our businesses, you're helping our nonprofits, because the mom and pops, especially our local businesses, we all have our passions. We have our things that we find important. That's why when you come out on First Friday here on Main Street, you'll go to some businesses and they're like, hey, we're raising money for, organization X. It's all part of that chain. It's all part of that. So helping these businesses help our community grow, which makes our nonprofits better, which makes our community better. So
absolutely.
It's all part of the cog, another cog in the big machine here.
We've, and I'm sure you're aware, for since May of this year, we've had 4 hiring events that we've co-hosted with the city of Roswell.
Recently, just one last week or so.
Yeah. And I'll tell you that the one we had last week on the 4th was probably one of our best events. Although a little smaller audience, but
committed. The audience that was committed.
Well, there's been a lot of stuff, and then we all see the hiring signs out throughout our town, and they're everywhere. Mm-hmm. I don't care what city you go to in America; they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Probably across the globe.
They plan it actually.
Yeah. But we've done several, and one of the again, with the city of Roswell and with the state's Department of Workforce Solutions, very critical. What we did was, Joe Knapp, again, I mentioned Joe again. He's, like I said, he's a great colleague.
Sure.
When we did our 3rd event, and I thought the 3rd event was September 6th, mm-hmm. and I thought, well, let's hopefully the federal subsidy will end and people want to come back to work, and we saw pretty much the same thing we saw the previous 2. So we sat down and said, well, what can we do different? So in that conversation, we elected to bring in the bureau chief for Workforce Solutions. And we were going to do a reverse job fair, right?
Okay.
What we decided to do was not do that quite yet. What we did instead was we had an employer workshop we held in October, end of October.
Okay.
We had about 50 some odd employers there, and we actually gave them the tools and resources they were totally unaware of that they were available to them.
Okay.
And we held it at the Civic Center, Convention Center, and went really fine. And then we had the 4th event. We called it the hiring event, mm-hmm. not a job fair, but employers ready to hire people on the spot. And talking to those employers on the 4th, they said, this is a different group of people that showed up. These are people that really were job seeking.
Gotcha.
And so they said their attitudes were really good. And I don't know the numbers yet. We're still calling to find out.
But you think some positions got filled from this last one? That's
right,
good.
I do. We had 146 job seekers, 27 businesses, and about over 150 jobs plus that we know of that were available.
That's great.
But there's more than 150 jobs in Roswell.
Yeah, that's
that are available.
Just a microcosm of what's really available out there.
But whatever we do to help, that's, again, the role that we have taken as EDC is to help our community. Mm-hmm. And
that's what it is. It's all about that. It's our community coming together to do these to make our community a better place. And we understand that, and the EDC understands it. Your little flower shop, we need to make sure it succeeds, because it succeeds. That means this business down the street will also succeed, because we're all connected. We're all, everything has its place in our system, in our society, and we need to support all of that. And that's what it's about.
And these, and I say to this to a lot of groups, our local small business owners, they've invested their own money, mm-hmm. they've invested their own time, their sweat, probably blood along the way.
Yeah.
And a lot of tears, to get to where they want to be. And during COVID, we were trying to just keep them in business and trying to find out other things. We did, as in the very beginning, we were doing different things.
Keep your head above water here.
The point is how can we continue to help them, move the needle for them?
Yeah. Now that we got their head above water, how do we make them flourish? And that's what we're trying to do.
So one of the areas is, we talked about these hiring events and the issues with, the biggest issue across the globe is the workforce, right? I mean, I was in a group last week and that's all anyone ever talks about is workforce, because you just don't have the numbers anymore. Because jobs have gone away. They've moved away from brick and mortar. They've done a lot of things have changed.
Businesses are doing what they got to do to survive too, and I imagine they've downscaled and shifted, eliminate positions, and do what they're having to do to stay solvent as a business.
Yeah, and our local folks here and everywhere, they need a workforce, right? I mean, even though that's shifted, they still need a workforce. And what this EDC's been very involved with is working with all 4 of the independent school districts in Chaves County, Roswell, of course, and Hagerman, Lake Arthur, and Dexter, and with Career Tech Education, or CTE. I encourage those families out there who have youngsters in school in any of the schools to talk with whomever they need to talk with their counselor about CTE, Career Tech Education.
Yeah.
It's all about how to grow our own workforce because the folks the young folks that find a great career here, a job here, will stay here.
Yeah.
And we don't want to
people
see
don't move when they're happy.
Yeah. A former governor once said that our greatest export is our children. And I think he was probably correct.
That's a fair statement.
But if we can grow our own to help the employers that we have, plus employers we're trying to attract here, we're all going to win. We're all going to win.
Absolutely.
And that way, young folks have a true career pathway.
Absolutely.
So it's the Roswell Independent School District, the others, they're all now re-engineering themselves to really put that path. And I'm just really excited about it because we've been a big part of the team to help make that happen.
Absolutely.
But Josie, I want a workforce, right? That's what I see. And educators.
Well, makes your job easy. If we got a big workforce and you go out and say, hey, company B, look, I got 1,000 people waiting for a job right now. Come on in.
That's right. And not only with the public schools, but Eastern New Mexico. I mean, what they do is, if you look at it from a waterfall, that they're the next step.
Absolutely.
Right? And they're the ones that's building on other programs, and they're really, being a community college, they've got the ability to be flexible and nimble to help do things a little differently to get kids, young and not just kids, if you will, students, but older folks too, even like you and me, right?
Yeah.
If we want to change career paths or we want to do something different, they've got things.
Absolutely.
What people don't know is what a gem they are and the resources they have right here in Roswell to help everyone.
Speaking of small business, if you're looking and go research their eye center over at ENMUR. That's available to anyone, and you basically sign up like a gym membership.
Yeah.
And then with it, you have access to like say you want to make a tangible project. They have like the high tech computers to do metal, like laser carving metal and woodworking, more advanced that. And I don't get, I'm not the most
3D printing too.
Yeah. I mean, they really have now, obviously they're going to make sure you're trained on it before they turn you loose on their high expensive equipment, but you pay your gym membership basically, and then you get to access this stuff. So if you're if you're a small business and you need other tools to help market and connect others in the industry, that's what the Eye Center does. That's all part of that. So whether you're a student there trying to earn a degree or you're just a person in this community trying to do your own thing as a hobby or a business, that Eye Center is a resource for you. And that could be your foot in the door into setting up your next, the whole vision of that Eye Center is, products and visions come out of there. Next thing you know, we think of Roswell's known as, I don't know, I'm just picking a skateboard maker because somebody in the Vision Center, in the Eye Center decided to say, you know what, I'm going to make skateboards out of this thing. And they turned it into now, that's the whole goal is for people to find their passions and to turn it into a business enterprise. And that's what the Eye Center is all about.
Back to those entrepreneurs, I mean, we have a lot of folks have these great ideas. There's resources there they can utilize. And it's not just being checked out, but they'll get instruction.
Yeah.
They'll be taught.
Sure.
And that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of the stuff Mike's talking about here in that partnership, and then obviously, you're talking about the partnership you're having with the school districts and the college. Well, the college is reaching out to our school districts too and working because they're seeing the same things, and like when we see our early high school or our early college programs and things, that's all partnerships between our RSD and the college and all that. That's the kind of things we need to happen and to create a better workforce of people here in the future.
And what's great about Roswell, this community is we have industry partners, business people that are willing to work with the public schools to teach young folks what their careers are like, so they can create that environment to help them stay motivated, be motivated and the passion to work a career pathway.
Yeah. It's the opportunities are there. So please reach out. If you haven't talked with Mike from the Roswell Chaves County EDC before, come by for a visit. His office is right downtown, about next block over here on the Bank of the Southwest building.
Yeah, right.
3rd Street. Like we're on the corner of 3rd and Main. They're across the street from us on 3rd Street.
That's exactly right. We're neighbors. Yeah, come see us. Call us first.
Yeah.
Because we are busy.
Sure, he's out and about.
Yeah, but 622-1975, and we'll be happy to schedule something meet with you. And if you want us to come to your place of business, we'd be happy to.
Yeah, and of course, Roswell Chaves County EDC has a Facebook page. If you can reach out, shoot a message through their website as well. I don't remember the actual address off the top of my head, but just Google
it's ChavesCounty.net.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I just Google Roswell Chaves EDC. It'll pop right
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
So.
absolutely.
Mike, is there anything we missed?
No, I don't know. We've covered a lot of things. We've got some other projects going on, some local stuff.
Okay.
We've got
What to get you back for talking about some of that?
Yeah. But I've been pretty jazzed about these hiring events and trying to get people back to work, helping our local people, our employers get down to visit folks. I think that's really important. But more importantly, what else can we do? The Roar Fund is going to be a big deal. I hope. I hope that's going to continue. The city has approved that, so we're just ready to rock and roll. And if we can build the inventory air center, even better. And
it's a win-win for everybody.
It is, and it's cool to see that stuff kind of moving forward. And I don't know if you noticed that on Southeast Brasher and 285 is a big building.
Yeah,
a lot of groundwork being done. It's Admiral Beverage, and that's a project we started about a year ago. 100,000 square foot building. They're going to have about 75 employees, and what a great place to put a nice facility like that. Coming
Are they
in our
expanding
town.
their territory? Is that what they're doing there?
They're actually.
Their facilities.
They actually decentralized, and and they're kind of bringing it back. But and that's because of the building heaven on Atkinson, on South Atkinson, was really too small.
Yeah,
I was in there.
Outgrew it.
I was in there a few weeks ago, and they have stuff just piled everywhere because they just don't have the space. And now all those trucks moving. I mean, and like I mentioned the city council, I said this is a safety issue. I mean, it is. That's a busy area.
Absolutely.
And I says, and it was about a liquor license, and which is kind of silly for a warehouse. But anyway, but everything was fine, and they're building their building, and
it's great to see that they're expanding and growing. We want to see every business do.
Yeah, and of course, we're working with we've worked with local retail folks as well, opportunities, and I mean, we are involved in a lot of different things. Whatever it takes to move the needle to make our town great. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Give out your phone number if any business or any person's like, hey, I just heard Mike on the radio. I need to reach out and make some connections.
Sure, 622-1975, 1975.
Very good. And again, come on out. Let the Roswell Chaves County EDC help you, your business, your family, your community get better. And let's come get involved in these events. If you're looking for hiring opportunities to creating a hiring opportunity, please, Mike can help you out.
Absolutely. Awesome.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time here. Have a great Thanksgiving, you and your family.
Thanks, you too. Enjoy the host job tomorrow. And
yes. Tomorrow's a fun day, to be honest. I mean, I wouldn't call it fun, but
you'll get to sleep.
Yeah, today's the stink day. This is the day I got to complain about everything. But thank you, Mike. We'll see you next time.
Thank you. Good seeing you.
It's 9:50.